I cry every time when Boromir dies. I cry oh my god, every time I get to the part in the book where Legolas sings the song about Boromir, I can't. Makes me cry. Also, even though I know that Frodo's not dead. I know he's not dead. When Sam thinks that he's dead, I really can't do it. It gets me every single time. I cry, all these tears. I just can't stand to see my boy so upset because oh my, Every time. I also cry in the Hobbit movies when Fili and Kili die. Thorin is a maybe. I might cry or I might not. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. It just depends. I definitely don't in the book. I think the movies do a lot of a better job of endearing you to him. So I'm more likely to cry in the movie than I am in the books. Cause I feel like in the book, I feel like people are gonna hate me for that. I just feel like they do a better job of endearing you to Thorin in the movies, than in the book. In the book, he's a little more callous, I think. And I don't feel that him and Bilbo are quite that close. So when he dies, it is sad, but it doesn't wreck me, cause I really do cry sometimes. But I always cry with Fili and Kili, I don't know why. Cause they seem so innocent. Oh yeah, the actor that got for Thor is killing it, is absolutely killing it. It's so good. I think that I have to take the accusation that for an evil woman, I do cry a lot. It's true. I am evil. I'm just an evil woman that cries a lot. Okay, am I getting you in the feels? I'll stop. Okay, I'm glad that you guys got the same feeling too, because I feel like a lot of people really hate the Hobbit movies, and I really don't. I definitely see the flaws with them, and I know all the background information about all the stuff that happened with how they were getting made and the filming limits and things, the crunch time. I know it was very stressful. I know it could have been done a lot better. I hate that they stretched out into 3 movies. I do feel that is unnecessary. There's a lot of things I really like about the Hobbit movies. They give Bilbo some wins that he doesn't get in the book that I really like. For example, when they're up against the trolls, usually, why do I say it so weird? In the book, it's a Gandalf win, right? But they give it to Bilbo in the movie, and I feel like that really helps to kind of set up Bilbo and his friendship with the dwarfs a little bit better, in my opinion. I like the way that they did Thorin better in the movie too. There's some things that they added that I really don't hate. I know people really don't like the scene where they're escaping. Where are they? Mirkwood, right? And they're in the barrels and they're floating down the river. I know people don't like that scene. I like it. It's fun, okay? It's fun. But I do think it got dragged out. There is a little too much filler in it for sure. But I also like that you get, oh gosh, why am I forgetting his name? I feel like a fake fan right now. But I like that you get more time spent in, the town with, his name starts with a B, you guys know who I'm talking about, who ends up shooting down, Smaug, right? So, I feel like that's really nice too. Because in the books, it's just kind of this random character, it feels like sometimes, in the book. I always lump them all together, and then I feel like people are gonna call me out. Like, The Hobbit's only one book. I know. I just lump them all together, so it feels like books to me, including The Lord of the Rings. Bard! Yes, Bard! Sorry, the chat is so delayed. I'm so sorry for that. I like the songs and poems in the books. Personally, I like it a lot. It's from playing the Lego games. I've never played any of the Lego games. You'll take the 3 movies over the Rings of Power had a lot of issues. I still liked it overall, but it definitely had a lot of issues. Now I know that there's some weirdness there too with rights, because they don't technically have the rights to the Silmarillion, so that really that changes how much that they can do and tell. But I don't know, there were some things that they chose to do that I really did not like. Some of the decisions that they made. Maybe I'll go on a whole rant about that another day. I'll just say the two things I think off the top of my head that I hated the most. I really hated the story with the Silmaril and the tree and it making the mithril. Cause like we know where all of those went in canon. Like we know where they were. I don't know. So now it just seems weird. I just didn't like that. I thought that was very unnecessary and weird. I didn't necessarily hate that they found Mithril. I just didn't understand the point of the whole... I didn't understand the point of the myth that they made up. Like, why did they do that? And what was the other thing that I really disliked? Gosh, now I can't remember. I had it in my head a second ago. If it comes back to me, I'll say it. But overall, I didn't totally hate Rings of Power. I thought the sets were really beautiful. I liked the costuming. I really liked a lot of the nods that they made. Like, they did as much as they could with the material that they did have access to adapt. Like, making little, like, what do you call it? What, Easter eggs for fans, which I thought was nice. Why not go on a rant now about Rings of Power? We're here for your rants after all. That's true. I don't know. I think I'll go on a big, after we do the Lord of the Rings marathon on Saturday, I'll probably end up going on a really big rant about Lord of the Rings because it's going to be fresh on my mind. The incomplete sequel. Yes, I did read that. And like, okay, listen. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, so Tolkien did kind of play with the idea of doing a sequel. So something that would have happened after the events of the Lord of the Rings. And we do know a lot of the stuff that happens because he did write about it in his additional writing. So like, for example, you know, like we just know like where certain characters ended up and stuff. But this was going to be like a proper actual story going forward. And basically from what I understand, Tolkien's feelings on it were he felt like it would water down the ending of the original books and make them less good for there to be an evil to like just pop up again. Think kind of like the Star Wars problem. I agree with him there, where like additional Star Wars do sort of water down when you watch the original ones, because you're like, none of this mattered, none of it worked, it all just happened again, nothing really changed, right? So he felt like he didn't actually want to go through with the sequel, but he did start writing it. So you can read like the first like chapter. And I totally understand where he's coming from. I get it. But man, when I read that first chapter, it gave me cold chills. I was so into it. I was like, holy crap, it would have been really good. I think he was right. And I do think that he made the right decision. But it is cool. If you've never read it, go ahead and take a look at it because it really did give me cold chills. I thought it was beautifully written and it sucked me in, man. Like if that was the first chapter of any book, like of any series ever, I would have been so sucked in. But yeah, the cycle thing, I just don't like it. I think he was actually right for that. This Saturday, my mom and I are doing our Lord of the Rings watch through. So we're going to be starting with the Hobbit movies, watching the extended editions all the way through, and then the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings all the way through. And I'm very, very excited. And while we were on the drive to my family, we planned out our meal plan because we're going to do the whole Hobbit meals, right? I think it's 7, right? So we're having breakfast, second breakfast, 11 C's, luncheon, afternoon tea, dinner, and supper. Let's go!
My fellow brothers, in the face of our common dangers, in this winter of our hardship, remember these timeless words, as we can.